Good afternoon, YouTube. So ended up taking several days off of work, and so now I'm back at work. Came back to work early this morning. So right now I'm on my way from Fort Smith, Arkansas, where I picked this load up that I have, and I'm on my way to Chino, California. So here in Amarillo, it's about, I don't know, my truck thermometer says 95 degrees, and it's actually pretty humid, so it's kind of warm, it's kind of hot, but it could be well over 100 degrees here, and so it's, I don't know, it's not that bad, I don't think. It doesn't seem to be. So anyway, right now I stopped here. There's a pilot truck stop at Amarillo, so I stopped here and filled the truck up with fuel. And so now I'm just kind of parked here waiting for my 30-minute break to conclude. And I'm going to probably drive on over to Tucum, New Mexico, where I'm going to spend the night at tonight. So sort of peeking through my fairly filthy window with the trucks going by, you can see that this pilot, along with many Flying J's, has the natural gas sales pumps, but in this case they actually are using them. Those looks like you could actually buy natural gas from that. Most of the locations, Flying J and Pilot, that have the natural gas sales pumps, they're not selling any natural gas for vehicles. But at least in this part of the world, I'm along Interstate 40. Saw one earlier today over in Oklahoma that also was actually selling gas. It was actually, in other words, the pumps were open for business. So maybe they'll eventually open them up. So I've stopped for the night here. There's a Flying J here at Tucum, New Mexico. It's about 7:50 p.m. Mountain Time. There you can see it on the GPS right there. So the sun is kind of going down. It's fairly cloudy. It was about 95 degrees, and I think it's still about probably 95 degrees. A little bit windy. The wind has died down a little bit, and you can see there's a bunch of clouds now over back into Texas, Amarillo, and over into Oklahoma and Arkansas. Of course, it was considerably more humid, so it's not as humid here at Tucum. So it's now a little bit later. I've recorded and uploaded an audio podcast, and so I'm getting ready to head to bed. So originally this load was supposed to deliver, let's see if I got my days right, Wednesday at 2 p.m. but I don't know. I would have been able to make it, but for some reason somebody got their wires crossed and they've changed the delivery appointment. At least that's the message that was sent me. They've changed it to the 3rd, which I believe is Thursday at, I think it was the 3rd at 3 p.m. So I don't know why they, because I was going to go, I would have been able to make it, but they, for whatever reasons, they went ahead and changed it. So that's apparently what has happened, and so I'll just don't have to hurry as much, I guess. So anyway, while I was home, I didn't really buy any electronic devices. I did have to replace the battery in my I have a Verizon MiFi, and the battery that came in it, the original battery, was beginning to swell a little bit, which that's not good for a lithium-ion battery. If you've got a lithium-ion battery that's beginning to swell, then you should definitely replace it. It wasn't swelling bad, but it was noticeable. So I went to a Verizon store, and they ordered one from Verizon's website, and it's actually a larger capacity battery, so it came with a thicker back, a little bit bigger back, for the device. So it makes the device somewhat thicker, but the battery has extra capacity, and so when it's not plugged in, it'll run, theoretically it would run several more hours than it would otherwise with the old battery. So that's the only electronic device I bought. Otherwise, I did go made a trip to Lowe's, and I ended up buying a metal, kind of like a metal park bench type thing. They make them in, this one is metal. They also make them in, kind of wood, and so I didn't get the wood because that, after 2 or 3 years, outside the wood would rot away, and you just have to throw the thing away and start over. And in this case, the one I bought was metal. It was, and people were saying that, the comments about it on the Lowe's website, people were saying that the thing was really good. Even people were saying, that in bad climates like upstate New York where they get a lot of snow, the thing was holding up well. So got that, and so while I was there, I ended up also buying a small square patio table, metal patio table with a couple of chairs. They were calling it a bistro type table. So I got that. That was it was $60 for the table, and then each chair was $35 a piece. And they're similar to the chairs that I have on my back deck. I put that on my front deck. My back deck, I've got a round table and metal chairs that I've had. I bought it at a Walmart store probably, 22 years ago. And it's still fine. Of course, I think the key to it, it's metal. It's painted black, but it's metal and, kind of a mesh type metal. And nothing really, the nice part about that kind of furniture is that water can't pool on it. It's, the water, like if it rains, the water simply goes through it. Through the mesh. Otherwise, if it gets snow on it, then again, when it melts, it just goes away. It just goes right through it. So, and so the metal does last a lot better than, in this case, that table on the back deck. The table and the chairs are perfectly fine. Maybe at some point I might want to get some black paint and repaint the top of the table itself, the mesh, but otherwise it's in great shape. So got that, and so that's really all I did. I did mow while I was at home, and kind of clean things up a little bit more and that type of stuff, other than just relaxing. I spent probably the vast majority of time just kind of doing nothing. Hanging out with my parents, who, by the way, are improving. They're getting better. Still not 100% back to the way they were before the accident, but they've made some definite improvements, and they're well on the way to recovery, I believe. So happy about that. But I spend I like spending time with them, so I spend as much time with them as I can. So, in a time when I take time off, I do like to spend time just, kind of however I want to. And, if I'm busy doing something, that's one thing. But otherwise, if I feel motivated just to kind of sit and watch television or just sit and stare up at a tree, then that's what I'll do. So anyhow, from Tucum, New Mexico, I'll catch you later.